Well, hello, 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 and greetings to each and every one of you on tonight. Hello, McKenna. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. I am excited about our conversation on tonight because tonight, we're going to be talking about going from the struggle to strategy and
Mhm.
evaluating what's really going on with our lives. Because at the end of the day, McKenna, all of us deal with the struggle. Can we get real tonight?
Yes,
Greetings. We see you over in the chat. Can we get real tonight?
yes, we can. Yes, we can. I'm already,
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. We're going to get real tonight because at the end of the day, anytime we're talking about stepping out, whether you are an entrepreneur, you are a small business owner, you are a business professional that is also looking to pivot or even doing something on the side, it can cause a little bit of a struggle. But we
Mhm.
begin to realize the more and more we're into business and we're doing, it doesn't have to be a struggle because there's certain things that we need to put in place. Am I right, McKenna?
Yes, definitely right about that. Definitely right about that. We have to understand that, there's going to be some challenges that we're going to have when we're working on anything that's great.
Mhm.
But we have to be willing to maneuver through it, to pivot through it, and to figure out the best solutions to get to that issue that may arise.
Dealing with finding the best solutions in regards to the issues. You all hear that? We have
Mhm.
to find the solution to deal with what it is that we know we need to focus in on and all of the things that are coming our way. Because let's be real, as we said on tonight, the struggles will come,
Yes.
disappointments will come, all of these
Mhm.
things will come. But one thing I want to talk about as well, and we're going to focus in on, as we said earlier, what
Mhm.
are the things that we still need in order for us to grow, in order for us to pivot, in order for us to excel to the next level. And one thing that I realize as well, McKenna, and you can attest to this as well, is we have to evaluate. You are ready for this because I hope you have your pen and your paper out.
Mhm.
We have to begin to evaluate as well, does our circle fit our goal? Uh-oh.
Mm. That's
I,
a
I,
good one.
let's sit in that right there.
That's a core right there. Does our circle fit our goals?
Does your
Yes.
circle fit your goal?
Yep. And that's part of the strategy too. You got to figure out who's that A team. Like, who are the people? The who you want on board to make things happen is based on the talents and skills that they have. The best example I tell anybody is like, when you're planning something to put
Hmm.
together, you're going to find out who is good at inviting people, who is good at, finding a venue, who is good at picking out some good food in the menu, just
Right.
coming from an event producer perspective, we got to find out the who, because we want the event to be top notch. And so if you don't know who could do something well, you can have a little
Hmm.
problem later on because it's
You'll have a
not going
little
to
problem.
execute the way you want it to be.
Right, right. So just as we spoke about last week, we talked about the power of collaboration. And for many of you all who may have missed that, it is definitely on our YouTube channel at Miss Latanya Washington. Go back and watch that because at the end of the day, everything that we talk about builds upon the next. And we're
Hmm.
here to talk about the growth of stepping out, the growth of an entrepreneur, the growth of a business owner, the growth of a business professional that is looking to step out and do the things that many times something's gnawing on the inside of you that you need to step into. And many
Hmm.
times we miss it because we don't know what to do next, McKenna. And so today, I want us to begin to talk about one of the other things that we need, and one of the other things we need, McKenna, is community.
Exactly.
But the question then becomes, how do we build community? Because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, as well, community is really where your money is. I tell this to my students all the time. The community is built into sub communities. You have to
Yes.
know who those communities are. And at the end of the day, that's where your money is. Even in the midst of, as we're dealing and as we're doing the list tour, we had to dig in, did we not, McKenna?
Oh yeah. Oh, you had to dig in. I felt like we was like reinventing what we did years ago. I mean, you think about it. Like the list tour last one we did was a virtual event. That's when we was
Mhm.
pushed to go from live to virtual back in 2020, and then so it's been a while. So now you got to go back and figure out the who again. So one of the things I had to do is for one of the strategies for find out who's our past attendees, who have supported us in the past, to let them know we're back. We had to let people know, it was like you had to do a clarion call and say, hey, we're back. The next thing I had to think about is like, who would this benefit? Who would want to go to this tour, to learn more about business, from marketing, finances, leadership. And so I started brainstorming based on people I know or people I know that follow me, and start thinking about who would be a good fit for this.
That's it.
Those are the strategies you have to think about when you're planning something, because you want the audience that you're serving, that you want to make sure this is what they want too. It's not about you. In some cases, you have an idea of what you want, but it's the people who really get to vote in some cases. Because sometimes you got to shift a little bit. If it's something that people don't want, you could be, they say selling ice cream. They say, I don't like that flavor.
I don't like vanilla. I don't want vanilla. I want chocolate.
You got nothing else but vanilla. So then you got to go find people who want vanilla, right?
Vanilla ice cream.
You have to have a variety of things if you want to sell most of your ice cream, because vanilla may not fit everybody.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so that means as well, you all, whatever it is that we're putting out into the marketplace, whatever it is that we have that ideal about, we have to evaluate, and we have to go back and say, who is this going to impact?
Yes.
Because in order for me to grow, not only do I have to invest in myself and grow from the inside out, both naturally, both spiritually, all of these things have to occur. But in the midst of that as well, we have to evaluate, what is it that I have in order to help other people grow, in order to help other people meet their next place or their next level, or get past that obstacle, or do the things that they have to do. And many times, McKenna, I think what begins to happen, even as we're talking about from the struggle to the strategy, we literally have to allow ourselves to let go of the state of survival. Oh, what am I? We do. We start getting many times we start getting the shakes. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. But we literally have to sit back, calm ourselves down. Yes,
that's when
McKenna.
Yeah, because the fact that you're trying all these different ways to reach a goal, and you see, like, you feel like this ain't working, that's not working. You heard too many people say, "Oh, I don't want that," or you feel like there's not no responses. And so that's when you have to go back to the drawing board, and you have to say, okay, this right here don't seem like it's going the way I want it to go. And it's based on, to me, it's talking to as many people you can. After you talk to like 25 people, and nobody said nothing, not even these 3 or 4 out of those people, then you may say, okay, maybe I need to say this differently. Maybe the way I'm inviting them, or maybe I didn't put enough information. Maybe even the picture I put on social media wasn't appealing. You don't know what it is, but you have to be willing to go back to the drawing board, and then go to people you trust, that you could get their opinion, and say, hey, this is what I'm working on, and I just feel like this is not working. Do you see something else I need to add to make this work? And then most people will say, you know what, let me think, maybe change this, do that, then try again. Then, okay, you upgraded the thing that you're trying to work on. Now you may have a better response.
Now you may have a better response. So you have to put it out there, evaluate, and if necessary, we have to adapt, because you have to give it some time. That's why I definitely believe in numbers, because what is the word that they say? Numbers don't lie. You'll see it in the numbers. And if you're putting something out, and it's out, and it's out, and it's out, and your numbers aren't picking up the way they need to pick up, it either means 2 things. Like you said, either what I'm putting out, it could be the offer, it could be the information I'm putting out to the audience that may be on a social media platform, or simply I'm hitting the wrong people. This is the wrong audience. Everybody don't want vanilla ice cream. But I'm talking vanilla in a sugar cone. Vanilla ice cream in this sugar cone. They don't want that vanilla ice cream. They want chocolate.
Yeah. Especially you have a whole bunch of health fanatics following you. They be like, what's in that ice cream? They want
some oat milk. I need that oat milk. I need that vegan ice cream. I need something.
You gotta know who are you talking to?
You have to know who you are talking to. And so, even with that, when we're talking about understanding all of this, understanding your audience, you all, we're talking about the blueprint for growth as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. I have to know what it is that I'm providing, and I need to know who I like to talk about this over and over again, because you have to know who you are connecting to. You have to know your audience. You have to know this information,
Mhm,
because we have to focus in on those areas. And that really, because
mhm,
I'm big on customers. I'm big on the consumer.
mhm,
I am big on
mhm,
taking care of people. But if I don't do
mhm,
that, I'm going to miss the boat
mhm.
in the
Yeah.
midst of it all. And so we have to be very, very aware of those things. So one thing you always want to be mindful of is, in order for us to go from that struggle bus to
Mhm,
strategy, we have to evaluate, what am I giving out and who am I giving it out to, and what is it that they like, or what is it that they desire, or what is it that they need. That means we have to dig. We have to
mhm.
talk to within
And
the
you might
community.
think about
Yeah.
this, Latoya, like, what does it mean to dig?
Ooh, that's good.
Mhm,
That's good. You all think about, what does it mean to dig? So
mhm,
for me, that means I have to, let me tell you what I do. I'll sit back and I'll think about people that I already know. Then
mhm,
I'll think about, what is it that they do. Then I'll
mhm.
evaluate. I always look at, I segment everything out, McKenna. I'm looking at age ranges. I'm looking at what they love to do. I'm looking at the jobs. I'm looking at what they're doing in the marketplace. And then I also evaluate, what is it that they love to do.
Yes.
And so that's how I have to go, and I have to go through my database. I have to look through, and I have to start marking things off. And that's, for me, that's how I dig through the people that I already know. Now, there's something else that I do as well, but go ahead on and share as well, McKenna.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree. I started looking at the network I already have, because I feel like sometimes, just from being on Instagram, on social media, we got so many people on there that follow you, that you probably don't really know who they are, and you got people who, of course, who constantly like and comment what you're doing. And so, if sometimes I like to go to people profiles and just,
Mhm.
see what they're about, what they're into, what they're doing for the weekend, kind of your best knowledge, try to get to know them in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like this, like, really watch people, and in some cases I admire what they're doing. If I see
Yeah.
that they spend time with their family a whole lot, I know they value family. I see somebody else there, every Sunday at church, or I see even on their on social media, they're putting quotes all the time. They're trying to inspire people. So after a while of just watching how people are doing things, and you start thinking like, okay, this person probably would love to go to something like this, because this is what I've seen consistently that they're talking
Yeah.
about. This person may want to go to this, but I've seen consistently. So I'm always trying to make sure I cater to the people. And then if I don't
Mhm.
know, I ask them. I don't just throw it at them. If I don't know, then I say, hey, do you like to go to things where, for instance, I said, like, where women like to empower each other and have a good time? Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Because I have something coming up that I think would
I
be
have
fitting.
something coming up that'll be good for you. Exactly. And I like
Mhm.
this question asked here. The question is, do you change your offer or change your audience? Great, great question.
Very good question.
Now,
Mhm.
now I'm going to answer, and then McKenna can jump in as well. Now, for when we're talking about what it is that I'm putting out into the marketplace, I'm not going to change what it is that I offer, because it is something that I know that I'm either passionate about, or I know that people in the marketplace are searching for, or it is something that they are in need of. What I may need to do, because as we said earlier, numbers don't lie. It may be I need to change the way in which I communicate. Maybe the
Mhm.
way I'm communicating, I'm not hitting the people that need what it is that I'm looking for. At the back end, there's a lot of research that has to go into play. So now that means, once again, it may be I'm offering something to people, but maybe I'm not communicating that offer the right way. It could be the appearance, it could be the look. I
Mhm.
remember a while back, you all, as if you remember, know me, I was all red. Why? Because red was my favorite color.
Mhm.
However, as I went through my own mentorship and on my own coaching, my coach said, for the audience that really, really is searching for what it is that you want, you have to change your colors. So as you see, my colors are changed.
Mhm.
All right. And so
Mhm.
it made a huge difference. So once again, it's the way in which I communicate what it is that I'm trying to offer, because I'm looking at a specific type of audience. And so
Mhm.
I hope that answered your question with that. So it's not necessarily about the offer, it's how I'm putting my offer out to the public. What is the content, the appearance of it, those things like that. And
Mhm.
then I still have to evaluate, as Makeda mentioned earlier, who would want this? Who would want this? They're out there. You just
Mhm.
have to find them. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Go right on
Yeah.
ahead, Makeda.
Yeah, and so I'm still trying to look at the question about, like, do we change the audience? That's what kind of caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in some cases, I would say that you need to be really define like who your audience is in the
Mm-hmm.
first
Let me
place,
know.
so you can start attracting those people that you're trying to offer to in the first place. I remember taking an online class where they said, like, create like a model person that's
Avatar
following you,
or mm-hmm.
avatar of the person that's following you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal customer? And so you
Persona.
like
Mm-hmm.
draw your persona. Then you must draw a picture of them, and then you just, who am I talking to? You really supposed to be just talking to one person. Believe it
Mm-hmm.
or not, just one person. Even though may have 1,000 people following you, but you really supposed to be talking to that one person. So you figure out, what is this person like? How much money do they make? Are they married? Do they have children? Are they single? What do they usually do? Like we're talking about on the weekends. What kind of people they hang around? You really try to develop this character, like you said, this
Mm-hmm.
avatar, and that's who you're talking to. So you have to make sure that the offer, and hopefully the offer you give is something you can do and perform. That's
Mm-hmm.
important. Because just like you saying, Latanya, it got to be something you do, because you won't just be throwing the offer out there just because you think it'll catch some fish and then you don't do it. Because sometimes
Definitely.
people play around, they throw things out, and then people like, "Oh, everybody wanted you to do it," and you're like, "Oh man, I didn't
I don't
know,
want this.
that's not what I really wanted to do," And so you basically, you were clear that what you offer, you can perform and do, right. And I think when you decide what the avatar person look like, then it helps you kind of cater the offer to that person
Yeah.
consistently, and then you start attracting those people, even if those people may not be on your, on your following or in your database at the time. What happened, they will kind of understand what kind of people you're trying to talk to, and then they may refer people to you too.
Exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah,
what we call as well, you all. We want
yeah,
that
yeah,
circle of life,
yeah,
because as
yeah.
long as we take care of the audience and the people that we do know, and they
Mhm.
see the value that we provide,
Yeah.
what they begin to
Mhm.
do is they begin to share with other people.
Exactly,
They
exactly. So
begin to
it
share with
doesn't
other
mean,
people.
yeah,
Hmm.
you can't really, it's hard to change your audience, because
Hmm.
you're starting with where you at.
Mm.
I mean, in some cases, I've noticed that certain people start following me that I never met before, and maybe they saw something on another friend's page, or somebody went to something, they said something, and now they say, "Oh, I want to go too." But it's kind of, to me, it's kind of hard sometimes just to start from scratch. I think you have to
Mm.
develop it over time,
Over time.
and hopefully, those people that you do have following you, they know people that like what you're doing, and then they'll
Right.
start referring business out. And you still got to network and talk to people and different things. But yeah.
You got to get yourself out there. And even as you were just saying as well, one thing that we have to understand, just like we said a little bit earlier, the community, when we build community, you all, and I believe
Mhm.
someone mentioned it in the in our comments as well, the fortune is in your database. That is
Mhm,
such a
mhm.
great statement. The fortune is in your database, because your database is, well, you all, even though you may have a database of people, some people are just there to support you. They may
Mm-hmm.
never buy anything from you. You all, we're talking about the blueprint for growth. But even though
Mm-hmm.
they may not purchase anything from you, remember, we're in business to make money, right? We're in business
Mm-hmm.
to make sales, right? That's the only way where our businesses are going to grow. But even though people might be in our community that maybe they're supporting and they're not purchasing from us, they can still be the mouthpiece for us.
Mm-hmm. I
And
like
then,
that.
of course, you have the group of people that are always buying. Then we consider
Mm-hmm.
them to be inside of your community. They're considered
Mm-hmm.
to be your consumer. They're your customers. And you
Mm-hmm.
have different types, as we said before. We have different sub segments within a community. We'll be
Yes.
talking about more and more of this, you guys, even at the list tour when we are there, because we have to begin to evaluate who is available. You just said it, RB, I believe it is. The fortune is in your database.
Yes, it
Whether
is.
they're purchasing
Mm-hmm.
or whether they're not, whether they're a customer, we need mouthpieces. We even
Mm-hmm.
need, as we talked about last week, collaborators. You
Mm-hmm.
just got to know who your collaborator is. All right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
partnership. Go right on ahead,
And
McKenna.
sometimes for collaborations, it's best to go to people who do have a different audience than you. You know, because like if you're already catering to this type of audience, they may have a whole nother group of people that you don't know. And then
That-
you're benefiting them too, because you have another group. And so you actually are able to reach out to more people that way.
Right. That's
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. And that's why when we talk about growing, when we're talking about letting go of the struggle, you all, because we have to let go
Mhm.
of the struggle. We have to let go of just feeling like I'm trying to survive. I don't know what to do next. Because the minute
Mhm.
we keeping a mindset of struggling, we're going to do something that we're going to regret later on down the line. We're going to throw away money. We're going to put money into things that we should not have put money into, and next
Yes.
thing you know, now we're depressed and we're sad and trying to figure things out.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
even as I believe, what is it? Thank you for that as well. Think you was mentioned cooperation and collaboration are definitely keys. And so
Yes.
all of these things begin to play a huge role in our growth, in our stability, allowing all of us to enter in and go to the next level, and to be able, if I know I have an obstacle, I have somebody else I can lean on within my community, within my tribe, who I'm collaborating in, that is also able to take away some of that pressure as well, McKenna.
Mhm. Yes, yes. The many people as you can get, is always good. It's always king.
Yeah.
I try to collaborate with at least about 10 partners,
Yeah.
a lot of them I've been working with for years. We know
Mhm.
each other, we know for 10, 15 years. So the trust is already there. We kind of already know each other brands, and
Mhm.
and we know how to get the word out within our markets, and we cooperate in a way where we constantly are referring business back and forth to each other because we know each other, in that
Right.
way. And so we have somebody like, okay, this person loves to socialize. So we have them go to social events, and we know within our own connections, like, oh, I know exactly the perfect thing for you because I have a friend that does this and this and that. And in turn, I have another friend who does hair. So then within the other friends' database or mine, then they say, oh, somebody say need hair. Oh, we know the perfect person because this would do. And we're constantly doing this all the time because we
Right.
know people that we're serving. And so that's what makes collaboration so keen in that
Mhm.
way, because if you have a good select group of people and you all in for each other, you're constantly giving each other business all the time
Right.
consistently.
Right.
Hmm.
And so and you all, and those are key points to the business growing. We have to sit back and we have to do the work, because there's so much more involved in this thing, you all. We're just
Hmm.
giving you some little tidbits in regards to a lot of these things, but there's so many things that are required of you. And this is where When we're talking about we're building, we're collaborating, we're building community, we're learning how to market, learning how to
Mhm.
build a business, building a brand. All of these things, you guys, we're going to be dealing with even at the list tour. We have some great things in store for you, but we have to understand, in order for me to really make it, especially now in this economy, you all, where it's, you all see these tariffs going on. Anybody been to the grocery store? You all
Mhm.
paying attention?
Mhm.
Eggs going up. All of these are all of the price tags on everything is going up. But McKenna, I had to sit back the other day and I had to say, but guess what? If I'm making more money, I'm not going to trip so much.
Mm. I literally had said that to this morning, that we gotta make more money. You know,
You
'cause
had
I was thinking about the cost of eggs, and I was talking to someone this morning about the cost of eggs, and my husband refused to buy eggs because it costs too much. And I was kidding around saying we may have to go get a chicken coop.
get a chicken coop. Right, right. Hey, and
Because
sell those eggs and sell those eggs.
eggs. And so, but my husband's serious because this morning I asked, I said, did you go get some eggs? He said, nope. so so we on strike over here. It literally is funny because think about it, like, man, last time he saw some eggs and like I threw them out. He saw eggs for $18. So he's like, I ain't getting
No, that makes it's
$18
ridiculous.
no eggs.
It's
Um,
ridiculous. Right,
yeah.
right.
But you definitely have to put yourself in the mindset of having, abundance, prosperity, see yourself having more. Use the word
Yeah,
more all the time. I even tell people that I'm looking for people that want to live more.
that's right.
I want looking for people that want to travel more, that want to
Right.
prosper more, because those are people I'm looking for in my business, and I figured it out. I said, "Ooh, when I say that language often, that you constantly are bringing those type of people to you
Yeah.
all the time, because you all want more." Using positive language is part of the strategy too, because the more positive you are, the more people want to come around you, and they see in your social media and they say, "Wait a minute, I like what you're talking about," and talk from the heart. Be who you are.
Yeah.
Be who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Don't be
Right.
like the person in one way on social media, then when they meet you in person, they like, "Do
Mm-mm.
you
That
act
ain't
like that
you.
on social media? I thought you were cool." Don't
You
play
ain't
the game.
it.
Don't play the game like that. You got to keep it real. Keep your personality the way you are. You attract exactly who you say you're going to attract, because they're going to like what you're putting out there too with your
That's
person.
it. That's it. And it comes right back to you because as well, birds of a feather, what? Y'all,
Lock
they
together.
flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. And so you always evaluate, as you were saying as well, McKenna, we have to always evaluate our tribe, if that's what you want to call it, or you want to evaluate your surroundings. Every so often, you always want to evaluate who's surrounding you, who's always connecting to you, because it just could be you might have something inside of you that you need to like, this I am just attracting all negativity up in here. And so you have to go back and evaluate those things. And if you're not careful, you're always going to stay in a mindset of struggle.
Hmm.
And you're
The
not putting together
mindset.
any type of strategy because you're around the wrong people who are not goal getters, who always strategize. You are goal getters always strategize. Someone made a comment here. Once you hit a certain economic status, the price of
It's
certain
true.
things doesn't concern you. I am so
That's the truth.
you're not tripping, as you know, and all you become a good steward. And what you begin to do is you start putting your money in a places that's going to generate more money for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the mindset shifts because we're not
Mm-hmm.
struggling. We're not thinking about the struggle. We're not thinking about the struggle anymore. We're now looking at, okay, let this money make money for me. And you
Mm-hmm.
once again surround yourself with people who also know things in the marketplace, and they can also advise you, or they can mentor you, and they can help you to the next level as well. And someone just meant frequency and vibration. That
Mm-hmm.
that is so real. That is so real. And I believe next, what was it? Appreciating and enjoying the energy.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Yes.
Appreciate,
Thank you.
appreciate. and enjoy the energy.
Mm.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You all
Mhm.
are talking up in here on
Yes,
tonight.
yes, yes.
This
Because
is
you
good
know what?
stuff.
It was so good about okay business. It's like you always, like you said, you always gonna be strategizing. You're always gonna be thinking about what's the next step, what's the next step. But when you really work on your inner work, like she's saying, appreciating, enjoying the energy, you having a good time, enjoying the process will help your business to grow even faster.
Right.
Because
Right.
everything, like you said, Latanya, cannot always be in a struggle mindset. You may not have all the things you want right now, but if you're constantly thinking positive and seeing the future in front of you,
Yeah.
then you're going to draw that to you because you're going after it. You see yourself having it in your hands.
Yeah.
You see yourself being in that place that you're working so hard, and those strategies that you have are leading the way to that place that you're going to.
That's
So yeah.
it. That's it.
Mhm.
We set that goal in front of us and we say, this is my goal. My goal
Mhm.
is this here. And then we go
Mhm.
back and we say, okay, I need to hit this. I need to do this. I need to do this next. You all, that's all part of strategy. And then,
Mhm.
as we all say, give yourself some grace. Let's talk a little
Yes,
bit about
always give
grace.
yourself some grace. Yes.
Give yourself some grace and take your time to get this thing done right first, because
Mhm.
you don't want your foundation to crumble because you were so in a struggle or in a rush mode. Get the foundation in order, then you go to the next.
That's good, Latanya.
And definitely you all surround yourself around people that's going to say, oh no, no, shorty, no, shorty, that's not going to work for you. No, shorty, that's the wrong. You're communicating the wrong information out there, because guess
Mhm.
what? You know what I noticed one time? If we're not careful, especially when we're out here, we can yet, even though we may have something that we want to put out into the marketplace, from what we do, how we appear, what we say, what we show on our platforms, you all can yet and still attract the wrong market. I can't be
Wow.
out here twerking and I'm saying I'm a professional. What?
Mhm.
I'm going to attract the wrong audience, because once again, they're not going to be the right audience that for me as a business owner is going to want to buy something for me. They in the
Mhm.
entertainment. You all hear what I said? They want to
Mhm.
be entertained.
Yes.
And so I can't be out here now. Of course, we have a good time and we have fun, but and every once in a while, and I don't twerk, you all. I do not twerk.
You
Okay.
promise you don't,
Now I'll be out
Latanya.
there in that dance. Come on, we gonna get that in, but I ain't doing all that. Okay. But
Mhm.
we have fun. We enjoy. I think as we talk about finding my balance, but I can't be on here all the time saying I'm a professional and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and all I do is dance on my platform. No, that's not gonna work. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
Yes. Yes. You have to know when, how, and where. The timing. Like say it's the holidays. One of your strategies can be it's the holidays. Yeah, that is the time to have some fun. You may
That's the
dress up
time.
in your holiday gear and you do a little dance on Fridays now because everybody in holiday celebration, right? But then New Year's get around. That's when people start setting goals. You got to switch it up. You say, okay, we about to get busy now. We have fun in December. Now we about to get into, resetting our dreams. So you got to know when it is good to do different things, because like
It's
Latanya said, if you do it too much, then people won't take you seriously. Unfortunately, they be thinking, oh, every time I turn around, you dancing and party. I didn't know you was in
you at the
business.
nightclub. You at the club. You at the club. And I thought you what? See,
Yeah,
and that's
it's
another
a
thing
time for
about our brand.
everything. Time for everything.
Right. Right. And that's another thing about our brand. As we said, a brand is how people perceive you to be. So you have
Mhm.
to ask yourself, in my perception, how do people perceive me to be? And many times we have to go back and ask people, when you see me, what do you see? When
Mhm.
you hear me speak, what do you get from that? You know what, you all, I ask my students that often. I'm like, when I speak, what do you get from that? When you see me come into the room, my aura, what do you see? And then what I'm able to do as well with that, you all, is because that's exactly who I am. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
putting up a front, as you said, authenticity. This who I am, how I put myself out. And then I can even use that as part of my content when I'm putting something out in the marketplace, because it's all part of who I am as well. And I just like, okay, the word you had to change the car you were driving because
Mm-hmm.
of the attraction it drew. Yeah. See, the
Wow.
perception of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real. It's real. It's
Mm-hmm.
real. So even as we go forth on tonight, you all, we're about to shut it down on tonight. We appreciate you all so much for participating in this conversation today, because we wanted to talk about, you all, of going from that state of struggling to strategy. And in
Exactly.
order for us to grow, we have to be still enough, and we have to surround ourselves with the people, and we have to know how to put together the strategy in order for us to grow. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about the power of collaboration. We talked about the necessity of building your community, because the community, really, you all, is where your money is, where a lot of your money will
Mm-hmm.
come from, whether people are in there purchasing from you or they are simply your word of mouth. But how do
Exactly.
we build that? How do we cultivate those relationships? And so
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to just dibble and dabble in that a little bit on tonight. Any final words, McKenna, before we leave everyone? Thank you all so much for sharing as well.
Yes. Oh, somebody said thank you and good information, encouragement. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'll say my final words. I would say, always try as much as you can to come to you. I wake up in the morning sometime with different things that I feel like I should do, accomplish, or even people I should call. And what I do, I have a journal next to me and I write it down immediately. I feel like for me personally, I feel like those are like the God moments because I wake up thinking about it. And so I make sure I do a brain dump and put it in writing so then I could go back to it. So just in case I forget it later, I say, wait a minute, I came up with this idea. Because you never know what you will learn at different moments that you could add to that strategy or add to something else that you haven't tried before. And it's
Right.
simple things. One of the things I heard somebody say is about showing appreciation. One of the cool things about social media, especially on Facebook, they let you know when people's birthdays are. Show appreciation should always be a part of your strategy. Showing people you care. If you know somebody, having a bad day, take it offline and call them. If you know them personally, call them up and say, hey, I saw that you still having not a good day. I just want to check on you. Or if you don't know them personally, just send them a nice message, nice affirmation, to think about how to brighten their day. But those are things you can do to create, like Latanya is saying, create community with people. And so when you're doing business, you're bringing not only good people together, but you're impacting lives at the same time.
Impacting lives. You all hear that? You are impacting lives. And at the end of the day, that's what we're called to do. We're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be doing greater works. We're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be impacting lives. And as we continue to impact the lives of others that are surrounding us, and even the people we may never meet, however, because we're on these platforms, we're connecting to people. You don't know, someone is way over in Africa and sees you on the platform
Mm-hmm.
and is really, really being impacted by what they see, by what you're communicating, by what it is that you're doing. Perception is real. And in
Yes, it
order for us to elevate and in order for us to grow, in order for us to step to the next level, you all, we have to be intentional about everything that we do. We have to
is.
be
Mhm.
strategic and we have to be intentional. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. And so those are some of the things that we just wanted to leave you all on with on tonight. If you are not registered for the List Tour San Diego, you better
Mhm.
jump in, because you know what,
Go right
McKenna?
now. Do
There are
that.
only three VIP seats left.
Oh, three?
Only three
And what comes with
VIP
that?
seats
Latanya?
left.
What comes with that
We are
VIP? I heard you
moving.
got a photo shoot for them or something like professional shoot going on
Professional photo shoot. Even people, everyone who's in attendance, they are going to be in the raffle to receive a full day of video production. We are not stopping, because we recognize the fact, in this market, everything that we're doing right now in this season, because they are saying we're in a recession right now.
Mm.
You're going to have to, drum roll please, market, market, and do
Yes.
some more marketing of your business in order for you to grow. But
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You can't market, you can't do anything, you can't build if you don't know what to do next. So you
Mm-hmm.
cannot stay in a state of struggle. We have to go into a state of strategy. Am I right, McKenna?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's
So we
bottom
definitely
line.
got to get the VIP tickets so because they're gonna be in the boardroom and they're gonna get lunch and treated like kings and queens up in there. And
That's
so like
right.
he said, and we're here. We're here. It's something that we love doing. We feel like this is our ministry. And so if you know someone that wants more information about how they get the business to the next level, they would just want to be around like-minded people who like to mastermind and share ideas, definitely just tell them they want to be in that room. Now, so
You
what
want to
day?
be in the
Saturday,
room.
May 3rd. Saturday, May 3rd, right?
Saturday, May 3rd at the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown San Diego. We will be in the room gathering all the information we need in order to elevate. So bring your laptops, bring your iPads, whatever you need to bring. You better bring it because we are going to be doing a lot of training and connecting, a lot of networking. We'll be going. I'm looking at the names on this list, McKenna. And I mean, they looking good.
We got
I'm
some good
looking
people
at
in there.
what
We got
people
some good
do, and
people in
they
there
are
coming.
looking good, McKenna. Huh?
Okay. I'm trying to tell you,
I'm
know
like,
how we do it.
woo, we talking about a diverse. I'm excited. We're talking about a very diverse group of people that at the end of the day, everyone that I'm looking at is bringing something to the table, even though they're also there to receive. You hear
Mm-hmm.
me? And so
Yes.
we're going to receive information from
Talent
of
meets
course,
talent.
our amazing instructors. What was that, McKenna?
Talent meets talent.
Well, okay, you all hear that? Talent is going to be in the room, and that talent is going to meet more talent. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
like that. All right. And so, with that, you all, thank you all so much again for being a part of our podcast on tonight, from struggle to strategy, because you don't have to struggle anymore, especially when you are surrounded with people that are elevating. They are goal getters. They are going to the next level. People who are willing to invest in themselves. I have a coach, y'all. I know
Mm-hmm.
some things, and I still got a coach. All right. And so learning how to do the things that we need to do, because if we're trying to get higher, we got to do the things that we need to do to get higher, and we have to be willing to invest in ourselves to get to that next level as well. So thank you all once again. For more information, you are McKenna. Where can they connect with you all? You all will see McKenna at the list tour because she's one of the speakers as well, talking about
Yes.
building community.
Mhm. Yes, I look forward to it. So if you want to follow me, just go to Facebook.com and just go to McKenna Garganu. So I have two pages. And one is Celebrity Events by McKenna, that's spelled Makena. And also you go to my regular page, McKenna Hayes Garganu on Facebook. And are
There it
we
is.
sharing Instagram handles too?
You
Uh,
can.
okay. I'm on Instagram too at McKenna. And my favorite number is 7777. Yes.
Hey, okay. Them we know about them numbers. I just had numerology done here. Okay, life coach Dwayne is up in the room. I sure did. And I'm gonna tell you all right now, everything that was said and provided to me was confirmation, and it gave me more direction on the way in which I'm amped to go. I'm trying to tell you, diverse people will be in this room, and I am excited about it because we're all going to gain from it. For more information for me or to connect with me, you all, of course, here on the YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe, share, and of course all of my platforms is either Latanya Washington. YouTube, of course, is Miss Latanya Washington. Once again, you all, thank you so much for participating on our podcast, what we call Night School. We are excited. We'll be back here again. Hopefully next week we will be here with Black San Diego. The founders of Black San Diego, another one of our speakers. We will be connecting and interviewing with them in the coming week. And share, you all, share, let other people know about the list tour. We are so grateful, as someone said, and we are so appreciative. Thank you all so very much. We love you.
Love you
And
guys.
until
Thank
next
you so much.
time,
All right, peace and success, everyone.
peace and success. Take care, you all. Bye bye.